All right, everybody, welcome back. Good afternoon. We've got some more safeties to take a look at here in this video, and that'll actually do it for draft coverage of safety stuff when we're done with this one. So, this is it. We did our free safeties last week, strong safeties today. That'll do it. So, a couple more guys to get through here, or strictly speaking, a few, and we've gotten down into like the middle to latter portions of day 3 in all likelihood. So we're searching here for a little bit, but the Seahawks do have a functional set of safeties for the 2024 season. Maybe they do look for depth in this part of the draft. Very possible. First guy is a guy who I'm not 100% sure if he declared for the draft. Hawksnest told me he didn't, but I found a article that indicated he did, so I don't know if he changed his mind or something, and I couldn't find that article. But we have a shortage of strong safeties anyway, so let's just pull in Beau Brade and talk about him. Maryland Terrapin, can't find his age. Average size, 6 feet tall, 203 pounds, 31-inch arms, 10 and a eighth hands. ESPN loves him. They have him in the early fourth, practically the third. CBS has him in the seventh. PFF splits the difference. Database puts him in the fifth. A lot of production in the last 2 years for Maryland. 160 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, 11 passes defensed, 3 forced fumbles. So production is there, man. PFF grades are okay. They never really got over the top. But again, I feel like a big part of that is just that Maryland defense doesn't surround him with that much. So the things with Beau Brade that stand out to me are his ball skills. Really good at making plays on the ball. Really good at acting as if he's the intended receiver on throws. Really good at zone. Really good at handling coverage duties in zone. So even though he is nominally a strong safety, really good at understanding coverages. Really good at taking care of those things. Gets down to the line of scrimmage quickly to make plays against the run. He converts from safety to linebacker very quickly when he sees the run coming. He's got a nose for the ball. He has a good understanding of finding the ball or ball carrier and making a play on him. And he's another guy that should provide value on special teams. And understand that we are talking about guys that are going to go in about the 5th round. It's totally normal to look at them as special teamers. There are teams out there, plenty of teams, that would be totally happy drafting a guy in the 5th round, and the only thing he ever did for you was be a really good special teamer. So, Beau Brade bringing positive things to the table here as a potential safety. I'm definitely intrigued with what we've done so far. Now, if you put him in that deep safety role, he's not going to cover a lot of ground. I wouldn't say he's bad at it or terrible at it or anything like that, but he's not somebody who covers great distances. He didn't test. I don't think he's that fast. And you put him in man defense, he's going to struggle to keep up a little bit. Not terrible, but he doesn't have the reactive athleticism to keep up with routes. Doesn't have the reactive athleticism to stay with a receiver when he's trying to shake him. Gets stuck on blockers, not somebody who's going to shed or slip a lot of blockers. His tackling is not necessarily bad, but he doesn't hit with a lot of force. So it's one of those things where you have some safeties that hit hard enough to where they just drop the guy. But Brade is a little more, I'm going to gradually take him down, and he'll probably get a few extra yards on me. And he's got the short arms that make you wonder. So I like the idea of Beau Brade a lot. When you look at some of his holes as a player, it seems to me that he would be a great backup for the McDonald defense, but I don't think he's actually good enough to be a starter. He'd be a great backup because he does bring versatility to the table, but I don't think he's good enough to ever start. So I'll say 4th round again, and I know I keep saying 4th round, but that's what I keep coming back to. That's what I think Beau Brade is. 4th round caliber player in this defense because he fits what you need, but he's just not a stellar player. Next guy is Malik Mustapha of Wake Forest. Couldn't find his age. Another smaller but well-built individual. He's only 5'10", 209 pounds though, so he's got a good, it's like weight per inch is strong. 30 and eighth inch arms, 9-inch hands. All he did at his combine was his bench press, which he did great at, but he's got short arms, so you better. Um, PFF has him in the fifth. ESPN has him in the sixth or seventh. CBS seventh. Database has him in about the fifth as well. So he's kind of part of that crew with James Williams and Beau Brade of being just kind of like draftable, but not by a ton. Good production these last couple years for Wake Forest. 140 tackles, 13 for loss, 4 sacks, a pick, 5 passes defense. So not a ton of ball production, but ball carrier production is good. 3 forced fumbles, and PFF grades have been good. So he's been a good piece for that Wake Forest defense for the last couple of years. He's got a very stout and sturdy build, and that kind of defines who he is as a player. You look at him and you're very impressed with how he's put together physically. He does have good ball skills and he's very aggressive at the catch point. It typically doesn't result in passes defense because a lot of the time he'll lay a hit to break the pass up, not actually, getting his hand on the ball. He comes down hard and intelligently in run support. He understands things like angles. He understands run fits. He understands run gaps. He's good at understanding not only how to play hard, but how to play smartly when he's coming up against the run. He's also a fundamentally sound tackler. He wraps up, tackles through the ball carrier, all that kind of stuff that you like with safety. So those are the positives with Mustapha. He is slow. I don't think he's the fastest guy out there, which I know he's bigger, but he is 5'10". You would expect him to be a little bit quicker than he is. Often gets there late in coverage. Just coverage is not really his game. And the fact that he's so aggressive does mean that a smarter offense can kind of take advantage of him, right? You can throw double fakes at him. You can throw double moves at him. You can throw misdirection at him. And the fact that he plays so aggressively, you can exploit it a little bit. I do think he's a smart player in terms of like taking angles, but you can still get him in the wrong spot. The size also makes you wonder with the way that he plays. It's like a Devin Witherspoon situation a little bit, maybe. Where, I mean, obviously Witherspoon was such a good prospect in every other way that he was still a really high pick, but you play that physically when you're that small, how is that going to work? You try to put him in deep zone, try to have him handle deep responsibilities. He's just not going to be that effective. You don't want to do that with Mustapha. And he's fun. He's fun. I appreciate him. But I don't know how this is going to work out. He's built a little oddly to be a box safety, but that's probably what he is. Needs to be a box safety, needs to play in the box, or else what's the point? But Mustapha, to me, fifth round pick. I'd take a fifth round pick on him and say, hey, worst case scenario is a special teamer, and fifth round pick is fine for a special teamer, but maybe, just maybe, he can be a little bit more than that. All right, one more guy for this video. Jaylon Carlies of Missouri. Jaylon Carlies of Missouri, 22 when the season starts. Big. Not quite James Williams, but 6'3", 227. Long arms, 34 and a quarter, 10-inch hands. So he's a big dude. He's a big safety. And you know what I'm going to say about that in a minute, probably. I found a bunch of data from his pro day, I believe it was. I don't think this was from the combine. 4.5 40, 1.54 10-yard split, decent vert, decent bro. I mean, it's actually not bad, right? Like usually a guy this big wouldn't be able to move like this. So the athleticism's actually kind of nice. ESPN has him in the fifth. Database has him in the seventh. CBS has him undrafted. That's really about it with him. And you can take a look. There's been good production over the last 2 years. About 140 tackles, 8.5 for loss, 3 sacks, 5 picks, 9 passes defensed. PFF grades have been okay. I'm mostly impressed. It's a wide range of production, I would call it. He makes plays on the ball, makes plays on the ball carrier, makes plays on the quarterback, does things in the backfield. He does a little bit of it all. I mean, 227. If he's 227, that's basically a linebacker. That's like a slightly smaller linebacker. He's really good at moving through traffic and moving through blockers. He's not somebody who gets stuck on the wash. He moves through the wash to get to the ball carrier. Has a good understanding of how to slip tackles. Knows how to play the ball in the air. His ball skills are good. And he's definitely going to be a force playing in the box. So if you're looking at him as a safety, and I don't know if you're going to do that, he will be an issue when he comes up to provide run support. So, some stuff to like. I do suspect he's going to just have to move to linebacker at the NFL level, though. I think that he's going to end up playing that position. He has really poor change of direction skills. It's like turning a tugboat. So, misdirection, elusiveness, any of that stuff is going to throw him for a loop. He doesn't have a good understanding of how to take good angles, fundamentally unsound with how he comes up, even though he's physically capable of doing it and has some impressive athletic scores. And deep zone duties are definitely a no-go with him. Can't imagine him pulling it off. He just doesn't have the change of direction skills and the understanding of how to protect deep there. So I think that he will end up as a linebacker in the NFL, and I don't even know if that's going to work that well. He's not going to be that hard to take advantage of when you look at how poorly he changes direction and some of his poor understanding of the nuances of the defensive game. So I'd spend a 7th-round pick on him and move him to linebacker. I wouldn't go higher than that. There is some stuff to like, but at the end of the day, if you move him to linebacker, his size doesn't stand out, right? You're not looking at Jaylon Carlies and going, oh, wow, look, this is a really athletic linebacker at 250 pounds. That's something I want. No, it's just like he might be able to get by. All right, I will see you guys later. That's it for safeties this year. Let me know if you guys think I missed anything. Let me know what you think of these guys. Go Hawks. Might post another video later. If not, then I'll see you guys tomorrow. We move on to another position, and we start to close in on the wrap-up for the 2024 NFL Draft pre-work. All right, catch you guys later.